In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 30 days blueprint that would help you finally overcome your pornography addiction. If you're a Christian and this is something you're struggling with, maybe you've watched a lot of videos, read a lot of books, but you keep falling, this video is for you. Follow this blueprint step by step for the next 30 days, and I can assure you that by the end of the month, you will be in a completely different place. You'll be in a better place. And these blueprints that I'm going to be sharing with you now are pulled straight out of my 30 days devotional. This is a devotional that I share with students in my program, The Root Cause. It's literally like me walking with you every single day for 30 days. So if you haven't gotten it, check the link in my description. One of my subscribers sent me an email over the weekend, and it was a short email, but it was very powerful, and I could tell that it was an outcry for help. And this is what the email said. It said, "Help, I'm getting married in 30 days, but I struggle with porn." And as weird as this may sound, this is not an uncommon phenomenon. Every Saturday, couples, are walking down the aisle vowing to for better or for worse, whereas a partner might be secretly struggling with an addiction to pornography. So the big question is, can one quit porn in 30 days? My answer is emphatically yes, but also no. And here's what I mean. I want you to imagine for a second, someone that is struggling with an addiction to drugs, a substance for example, and he is taken and put into rehab for 30 days. And during the 30 days, he is restricted from access to that substance. He's enlightened, he's taught on a lot of things. Even though he has been restricted from the access to that substance for 30 days, we can never really know if he has truly overcome until he is faced with, the places he was where he was addicted, the people he was, just that environment where he was, until he gets to that place where he was, that he got addicted, and he says no. We can never truly say that he has been free from that addiction. But one good thing to know is that if you experience freedom in 30 days, maybe because you restricted access to a substance, it means you can experience freedom in 90 days. And it means you can experience it in 1 year. And it means you can be completely free. So now let's get into the blueprint. You want to quit pornography in 30 days. And I want you to think about this scenario. Imagine you're getting married in 30 days. And you've bought your suit only to find out that from the last time you tried on the suit till now, you've actually added weight. And now you need to lose at least 20 pounds to be able to fit into your wedding suit. What are you going to do? I'm going to tell you what I know you are not going to do. You are not going to be watching random YouTube videos on weight loss, with just any workout routine to lose those weights. What you are likely going to do is you're likely going to find a weight loss coach, someone that has a track record of helping people to lose pounds. That is likely what you are going to do. And that's the same way we're going to approach overcoming pornography addiction in 30 days. What I need you to do, and this is the first thing I need you to do, I need you to find someone, a coach, a mentor, a pastor, a therapist, a counselor, an accountability partner, someone who has experienced this addiction and has a lot of freedom in it. I want you to be accountable to that person. Reach out to that person and get them on this journey. Better still, you can always reach out to me. This is what I do. I've helped tons of men to overcome. So you could reach out to me, but the main thing is to find someone who can empathize with this situation that you are in and can help you through it. And now the second most important thing that you are going to do is that I need you to pick a date. Pick a date of evacuation of this addiction. Pick a date when you know you are going to quit. So whatever day it is, if it's a Wednesday, you can put it on any day. Say, I am going to quit on Saturday. And you need to write it down, because there are many times you'll say, oh, you're going to quit. Write it down somewhere. Say that you're going to be quitting on March 1st. Whatever date, communicate it with your accountability partner and get started. So we're on the right track. We have a coach. We've picked a date that we are going to quit. Now, these are 6 important things that any good coach would ask you and will inquire about. And here are the 6 things. The first thing a good coach will discuss with you is having the right mindset to losing weight, having the right mindset to quitting the addiction. It will ask you, why are you quitting the addiction? The second thing is going to ask you is, what makes you binge? What makes you eat unhealthily? And for an addiction, it is, what are your triggers? And for an addiction to porn, it is, what are the things that you need to remove from your life? The fourth thing a good coach will let you know is what you need to start eating. And these are the things that you need to add to your life. The fifth thing they will discuss with you is how many times you need to show up at the gym. And the last thing is, what workout exercises do you need to undergo? So these are the 6 things that we're going to be looking into, and we're going to be starting with the right mindset. So the first thing is having the right mindset to quit. I know, you have 30 days to quit this addiction to pornography, but the right mindset is, how can I be free for life? It's not just having that goal, hey, I checked it, I quit for 30 days. No, the right mindset is, how can this be a lifestyle? How can I live a lifestyle of freedom? Because the reason why this is important is, if you at any point relapse, because you had a goal of maybe 30 days, you will not have the required motivation to pick yourself back up. You'll be like, well, I failed, I might as well just binge and forget about this goal. But if you have the right mindset, which is, I want to quit for good, you are on the right track. So the second thing the coach will help you look into is that, what makes you binge? What makes you relapse? From in your struggle with this addiction, what are the triggers? What are the things you face? And from my experience with helping a lot of men, there are 5 things that I can tell you are the triggers for a lot of men. And you can use this acronym HALTS, HALTS. Many people are triggered to watch pornography when they are hungry, when they are angry, when they are lonely, when they are tired, and when they are stressed. HALTS. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired, and stressed. Think about it. Most of the times that you fell for this addiction or you fell for the temptation, what state were you in? For me, I found out that, I was tempted most times when I was stressed. So I want you to look into your life. When do I feel susceptible to these temptations the most? The reason why this is important is so that you can prepare well. For a lot of people, watching porn and masturbating is a form of escape. They are trying to live the reality of the life that they are in. Maybe things are not just going well, and porn is just a place where there is always a woman that is ready for you, always wanting to do the styles that you want. It's an escape from the reality that you are facing. A lot of people, they don't feel worthy, but they just need something to make themselves feel worth it. And that's why you need to know these triggers. So the next thing that your coach would ask you is, what do you need to stop eating? And for pornography addiction is, what are the things that would weaken your flesh? From experience, one of the first things that you should remove from your life if you're struggling is social media. A lot of the men that I help, their temptation to watch pornography drops by literally 70% when they go off social media. And it doesn't have to be forever. It doesn't have to be for all your life. It just has to be for this period when you are, nipping this addiction in the bud. For me, I went off Instagram. If you go to my Instagram and look through the years, you'll find out that there's a year, almost even 2 years that, I was off Instagram, because I just found out that, it was too triggering for me, and the way Instagram was, curated, it was created in a way that, people that I wasn't following, I was always seeing their content. It was always curated in a way that I would always land on the explore page. And sometimes the things that you see on the explore page are not things that you are interested in. They could be triggering. For this phase of your life, you need to be able to control your environment. And, social media has this intrusive behavior, and you cannot be on social media in this period that you're trying to overcome. For me, it was Instagram. For you, it could be Twitter. Truly, if you are struggling and you're on Twitter, I don't think you are serious yet. You need to leave Twitter. Twitter is that place that is just very free speech. Everything is free. Something can literally be trending, and you find out that what is trending is a pornographic video. You don't need this for your life at this moment. Another thing you need to do is, maybe you're even using WhatsApp or any other social media that you feel like is not intrusive. Make sure you mute people a lot. Make sure you unfollow people a lot. And I talk a lot about this in my other video, things that I unapologetically had to quit to overcome this addiction. You can check it out in the card somewhere. And one thing I did was I unfollowed a lot of people. I muted a lot of people. Some of them were not bad in of themselves, but they were just harmful to me in that season. One of the things I did was I unfollowed a lot of makeup artists. Not because, makeup is bad, but sometimes it could be too unreal for me, and I didn't need that. I unfollowed a lot of photographers. I unfollowed photographers that were even my friend, because, in the art of it, you could be seeing triggering things, you could be seeing cleavages and things that are not helpful for you in this season. Another important thing you have to remove, or maybe put some boundaries in place, for me, I went completely off it, was Netflix. I found out that Netflix was one of the biggest triggers for me, because the way, the movies, the home feed was curated. It was curated in a way that, a movie, just a very neutral movie, like maybe Suits, or maybe I can't even, any movie, there is the regular thumbnail and there is the, insightful thumbnail, which is, grinding on sexual appeal. So you find out that they are A/B testing with so many thumbnails that could also be triggers for you. So one of the things I had to do was go off Netflix. Actually, not just even Netflix, any other movie platform that, could be triggering for me. Another important thing you must have is a filtering and an accountability app. I've talked about this so many times on this channel. You can check the card somewhere, and you'll find one of the videos where I went in depth into some porn blockers. You need that urgently. So I've mentioned a lot of practical things, but one of the most important things you need to start doing is you need to start fasting. Fasting, I cannot overemphasize. I don't know how it works, but it works so well. So, I mentioned that one of the first things that you need to do is put a date. Put a date where you say, I'm quitting today. Beyond that, one of the things that would help you, in the quitting journey is fast. Fast at least maybe twice in a week, 3 times in a week. For me, I was fasting almost every single day because it worked. I just found out that when I hadn't eaten food, and when I was, indulging in the right things, I just found out that the temptation died. Because you find out that when you are full, when you have eaten, you are just anyhow. You are full. You are not as guarded as when you have not eaten. So fasting is super important for you. Now, the next part a good weight loss coach would discuss with you is what you need to start eating. And these are the things that will strengthen your spirit. So there's a quote I heard that literally changed my life. And I want you to listen to this. And the quote says, "Two natures beat within my chest. One is foul and one is blessed. One I love and one I hate. But the one I feed will dominate." And this is so powerful because it helps you know that whatever you are feeding yourself with is the one that is going to win. So what are the things you need to start doing that will strengthen your spirit? Because winning and overcoming pornography addiction is literally your spirit winning over your flesh, and you building enough strength in your spirit that when the flesh presents, its desires, its wants, your spirit just looks at that and says, you can't have this. So one of the first things that you need to start doing in these 30 days is you need to start your mornings right. Overcoming starts in the morning. So a lot of people, when they wake up in the morning, the first thing they do is they pick up their phone. They see a lot of notifications, maybe from WhatsApp, someone like their comment and all those things, or someone, like their comment on LinkedIn. You need to avoid opening your phone the first thing in the morning. One of the first things in the morning, you need to block out your first 1 hour and maybe spend time praying, reading. But whatever you do, make sure you are not opening social media in the first hour of your waking up. Because your first hour is the most important time in your day that will literally set the course of your day. A lot of people open maybe LinkedIn When you open LinkedIn, you see, hey, you see your friend has gotten a new job. Someone said, I'm happy to announce, and maybe you are looking for a job. And at that point, you begin to feel comparison. You begin to feel like you are not enough. You are starting your day on the wrong note. You open Instagram, you are seeing a lot of people flexing luxurious lifestyle, and you're looking and you're comparing yourself. That is the worst way to start your day. The next thing you need to start every single day is you need to block out time to read your Bible. And I know a lot of people, you have goals to read maybe the whole Bible in that year. Maybe that is not for you. For you, you need to read chunks. So for me, I was reading one chapter in the Bible for a week sometimes. And because I wanted to digest it. And that is what you need. You need to feed your spirit. You don't need to just check, hey, I've read my Bible today. I've done this today. You need to literally strengthen your spirit. I saw a statistic that says that, the people that open their Bible at least 4 times in a week, they find out that temptation goes down literally by over 50%. So it's literally saying you just showing up in your word at least 4 times in a week, you kill temptation at least 50% already. So the next thing after reading your Bible is meditation. This one literally changed my life. I made a video on 5 Bible verses that, I meditate on when I'm dealing with and trying to kill, sexual tensions. Please check that video. I entered deep into some scriptures to meditate on. But this cannot be underemphasized or overemphasized. You need to meditate, and meditation is literally putting yourself in the word, putting yourself into the scenario of whatever you are reading. One of the things I encourage a lot of people to do is, read the stories of men who loved God. Read the stories of Joseph in the Bible, read the story of David, read the story of Daniel. Put yourself in their world. So when someone like Joseph, is tempted and Potiphar's wife is tempting him and saying, lie with me, put yourself in that scenario, meditate on his response. He said, how would I do this and sin against God? So meditating is you putting yourself in their world and seeing what they said and picturing yourself saying, whenever you're tempted, how would I do this and sin against God? So these are the things that you need to do daily. So meditate every single time you wake up. The next one, I'm sure you are already expecting it. It's without saying. You need to pray. And now how you are praying is you don't have to do 2 hours, you just need to make sure that you are praying effectively. One thing I always encourage a lot of people is, even if you are praying 20 minutes, make sure it is a quality prayer. Make sure you are praying in the morning when you are starting off your day, and make sure you are praying sometime in the evening before you go to bed. And literally what you are praying is, you are praying some of the things you have meditated on. And it's literally like putting fire to the things that you've already meditated on. And your prayer sessions don't have to always be, I'm trying to overcome, God help me. Sometimes it's just dwelling on the character of God, that God is a good shepherd. He will not lead me in the wrong path. He will lead me in the path of righteousness. So when you are praying and you're just speaking in tongues over the things that you meditated about. The next thing you need to do, especially in these 30 days, is have a plan for your day. A lot of people just go into their day and have no single plan. Have a plan for your day. Write out, visualize your day. You must know what you're doing at every point in the day. Even when you're going to have downtimes, you're going to chill, you're going to maybe watch videos on YouTube or something. Know when that is. Have a plan for every single day in these next 30 days. And the final thing that you need to do, and this one is super important, I talk about this in a lot of my other videos, have a gratitude journal. One of the reasons why a lot of people struggle with addictions is because they are not happy with their life. The state of the season they are in, they are hoping for better. They hope to, for times where their life will be better, their life will be sweeter, but it means that they are not grateful for the season that they are in. They are not grateful for the life that they have. They are not grateful for the wife that they have. They are not grateful for the jobs that they have. So sometimes what you need to do is just be introspective. Think about the things that are working in your life. I'm sure you have at least 5 things to be grateful for. And that's what I need you to do every single day. Open a journal, and write 5 things that you are grateful for. Now, the 5th thing that a coach will discuss with you when you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to overcome pornography addiction is how many times do you need to show up at the gym? And for you, struggling with this addiction, you need to show up every single day. And the last thing that your coach will discuss with you are the exercises you need to undergo daily. And if you're struggling, one of the things that you need to master your triggers. You literally need to know your triggers, master them. For a lot of people that have struggled with pornography for so long, know what triggers you. And I've talked about this previously, but I'm bringing it again because a lot of people always act ignorant. Maybe you're scrolling on Instagram or you're somewhere. If you've struggled with pornography for a year, I can tell you that your intuition is very sharp. You can literally see an image, from afar, and you can see cleavage or anything that could be insightful. You don't need to click on it. You don't need to click on that person's profile picture or click on that, thing. Times that you might be feeling a little maybe stressed and, you are saying, oh, maybe I should look at Kim Kardashian's, how she's doing. That is a lie. You've not mastered your triggers. After a while, you should know the things that, trigger you. Another thing that you need to master, like I mentioned before, master your meditation. Another one is master not taking a second look. A lot of people struggle when they take that second look, which is what lust is. When you see something that is insightful, that could be triggering, once you see it, sometimes you cannot avoid it. Don't take that second look. You see a lot of men that see something, you see a lady and they turn back. That second look is the lust. Sometimes when you see something that is triggering, sometimes you cannot avoid it. But do not take that second look. And the last thing that I need you to master is master your vocation, master your ambition. One of the things that a lot of people do when they are telling people to overcome is, get a new habit, begin to work out. Don't work out. If you didn't used to work out before, don't start working out. What I want you to do is, because as a result of your struggle with pornography, there are many things that you would have, let go of. Some things about your ambition, things that you've always wanted to do. I want you to think about the things that you've lost as a result of this addiction. Maybe you used to write. Maybe you used to play the guitar. Things that you already used to do. Please do them again. Maybe you used to show up late as a result of this addiction. I want you to say, in this next 30 days, I want to show up early. I want to show up early for meetings. I want to meet deadlines. I want you to show up in ways that you didn't used to show up in this next 30 days. And I can assure you that your life will be better for it. So that's it for this video. I want you to follow this blueprint for the next 30 days. And I can assure you, you'll completely be in a better place. Make sure you check out the devotional in the link in the description. I walk with you for the next 30 days. And if you need help with maybe a one-on-one, you need me to be on this journey with you, I will be happy to. Also check the link in the description on how to go about it. And man, I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.